Welcome back to Grow Joyfully Home and Garden and Garden Tour Saturday with your host, Grandma Sandy, your co-hosts, Suffolk Susie, Pat's Garden Life, and Growing on Vancouver Island. This is an open collab that anyone can join. Just use the hashtag Garden Tour Saturday. And the second part of what tomato seeds I'm going to grow this year. On the first video, I went through this stack right here. And if you want to check my playlist, you'll find that it's there. And quite a few other videos from years gone by, all about tomatoes. How to grow them, what I do with them, I can them, and dry them, and everything you could think of about tomatoes. So this part 2 is going to cover some other tomatoes that I absolutely love. There's about 16 of them, and we'll start right here. Now we want to start with the pineapple tomato. It was one of the first ones that I grew, my first big slicer, my first successful tomato. The pineapple tomato is a yellow gold tomato, and it is sweeter, has less acid in it, and it's a huge tomato. And between it and the old German, I think those are some of my best 2-pound producers. So 2 or 3 years ago, I had a 2-pound 6-ounce pineapple tomato. So it is definitely one of my favorites and one of the first ones I've grown. Aunt Ruby's German Green, another huge, excellent, wonderful tomato. It is green inside, so you really have to squeeze it and make sure that it's not overripe. To me, I can tell the color of the green whether it's ripe or not. So it's a great conversation piece and just a beautiful tomato to eat too. Fairly low in acid and maybe just a little bit sweeter than some of your classic red tomatoes. The orange accordion, I grew it for the first time last year, and I only got 2, and they were incredible. They were just incredible. They are that big. Was it hard to grow? The plant grew really, really well. You know, when you just leave one huge fruit on it, it's not going to bear a lot of other fruits. So that's what I had. I had 2 different plants and 1 tomato each on each one. But it is totally fascinating. It tastes pretty darn good, and I really did love it. The Thorburns terracotta I have grown for at least 3 or 4 years. I get more impressed with it every year I grow it. I heard about this tomato from Jess at Roots and Refuge Farm, and there is just nothing to not like about it. It's a globe size. This year they got bigger than usual, but usually it's about a globe size, and they were very prolific this year, and they mature earlier. If you see dirt on my hands, it's because I've been working in the potting soil dirt. But anyway, one I highly suggest to grow for your varied tomato palette of color. The orange jazz tomato is an amazing tomato. It's also one of the ones that I've had 2 pounds with, and it's just very prolific. The only strange thing about it to me, and I've mentioned this on my other videos, is that inside in the core, around the core, it's a little bit crunchy. It's really hard to even explain. An incredible, incredible producer and a great tomato, a big one. And by the way, all of these 15 tomatoes are indeterminates, and that means that they're vining and you will have to support them. They will grow from when you get them planted into the garden until first frost when the plants are killed. So they'll just keep on producing. Then the next one is the German pink. As you can see, I've already got into this packet, but it gets to be very big, and it is a wonderful tomato. You know, come to think of it, I think I had this in my other video, my other lineup, but it's worth mentioning twice. It's a big pinky red tomato, fabulous on tomato sandwiches. The large barred boar is kind of an interesting tomato. It gives me kind of that motivation and newness to growing tomatoes. It got quite big, not as big as the German pink, orange jazz, of course, pineapple, but it's a fair size and it's just a conversation piece. Now, the ananas noir, which means black pineapple, I was wrong before. I thought it meant banana, but it does not. It's pineapple. 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember now. I'd have to look in my notes. I had huge ones that were absolutely beautiful. This last year, I did get some, but they weren't as big and they weren't as startling and wonderful, but I will not give up on it. It's an amazing tomato. It also can get very large, great for tomato sandwiches. Moving down to Costoluto Genovese. This is an accordion type tomato. It has a lot of folds, as you can see here. So it can make it difficult for peeling or, I don't know, other things, but I don't peel my tomatoes. I usually just throw them in with their peels on and then use an immersion blender or a regular blender to chop up the peels, because I think there's even more nutrition in those peels. And so it's a conversation piece too. Now it only gets about that big. Beautiful red tomato. You could use it as a stuffer. It's just an all-purpose tomato. The Bonnie Best is a classic. And I just want to read you the information on the back. It was introduced in 1908 by Walter P. Stokes. And it's a medium-sized fruit. It's round, red, meaty, and flavorful. So it is a good producer, and I really enjoy that. The next tomato, Dad Sunset. I have mixed results with this tomato, but I grow it every year since my dad died. And I'm going to continue to grow it for as long as I live, because I love my dad, I miss my dad, and I grow it as a tribute to him. So that's what I'm doing with that. It's a beautiful orange-yellow tomato. It doesn't get overly big, maybe like a large globe, but it is definitely worth growing, and definitely worth growing for me. Okay, so yes, don't be shocked. The Gazante tomato. I swore last year I wasn't going to grow it again. But in the end, it ended up producing a lot of tomatoes. It's another accordion-style tomato. It has all those folds, and if I was to peel it, it might be harder. Of course, when you dip it in hot water, and then in cold water, ice water, and you peel it, it should come off fairly easily anyway. But I don't peel mine, so it's not a problem. They get fairly big. It was very prolific. The taste isn't overly wonderful, but it made a lot of sauce, let me tell you that. So that's going to be on my list again. Then we have the Hillbilly tomato that I have struggled with, trying to grow it for the last 6 years easily. It doesn't love it here so much in my conditions, zone 6A in Idaho. But because of its name, and it's big and beautiful and one of those orange, yellow, red tomatoes, fascinating to me, I continue to grow it. Last year I got a couple of really big ones, so I was happy for that. And then last for this group, for this video, is the Black Beauty tomato. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why I grow this. It's not very big, as you can see in his hand. It's a medium to small globe. They take a lot longer. Let's see, how many days does it say? That's the problem with Baker Creek, is they do not always put the days to maturity, unfortunately. I can bet you that it takes well over 90 days for this to mature. The reason I grow it is because it is a conversation piece. It is extremely beautiful, and it has a lot of anthocyanins in it from the purpley black skin. Inside, it's kind of a dark red and very beautiful, quite tasty. So we discussed on our second part of what tomatoes I am growing this year, another 14 tomatoes. Next, we are going to tackle either determinate tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. I have a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes, and I think cherry tomatoes are very necessary to have in the tomato grower's basket. They have many versatile uses. You can dry them, use them in salads, eat them fresh, or you can just use them for sauce or whatever else is going at the time. So next time I will go over cherry tomatoes, and we will look into each one of those and what they're like. These are all indeterminate tomatoes, and they will need a lot of support because they're vining and they get pretty tall and pretty heavy. So thanks for stopping by today. I appreciate all your love and support. Come by again soon, and we will see you on the next video so we can talk tomatoes. We'll see you then.